Anyway, guys, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the report. Okay, so this is from a deputy. Okay, it's the same thing, guys. Same thing. This is from Deputy 3. This is the night shift. And what does he say? Okay, everyone, just chill out and let's see what he says because he's the third one. All right, let me make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. So y'all don't like, what the hell, Henry? What you reading? All right, let's see if I can make it just a hair bigger. There we go. All right, so this is a death investigation on Saturday, November 19th, around 5:34. All right, we on the police report. Deputy Blank, that's his name, was dispatched as backup to 324. He's back on track to Texas in reference to a date on arrival. So upon my arrival at 5:35, he's saying I met with Deputy 1 and Deputy 2 on the second floor where they were escorting a white female to room 324 on the third floor. The white female was later identified as Tammy Frank and hereafter will be referred to as Tammy. I remember having to write that. When you come across somebody with like a name, you'd be like, okay, this person is called this. And here on after, we're not gonna say, their long name. We're just gonna say something short. And that's how you kind of do it. Reporting party was Lola. Okay. Lola reported it also with us to allow entry to the room. So Lola reported it and gave him entry to the room. And Lola will be hereafter referred to. Okay. Lola let Deputy, I believe, 2 and himself into the room. Upon entering the room, Deputy 2 stated the bathroom door was locked. I knocked on the bathroom door, announced myself. I got no response. I asked Lola if she had a key to the bathroom. You guys see where I'm at? I asked her if she had a key to the bathroom. I'm right here. Lola stated she did and would be right back. While I waited for Lola to return the key, I held the door open and kept an eye on Tammy. Tammy appeared to be under the influence of some type of drug. Large amounts of pills were observed inside the room. Lola returned with the key and unlocked the door. Upon entering the bathroom, I observed white male, slumped on the ground, straddling the shower door rail. The white male was later identified as Jason Frank and will hereafter be referred to as Jason. So he comes into the room, they get access to the bathroom. Jason is in the bathroom, expired. Okay, he says, I observe. Remember, you have to use those I observe statements when you write these reports because this is about what you see. What did you see? What did you hear? I observed Jason not to be moving. I observed lividity in Jason's hands and thighs. I also observed drool hanging from his mouth. I informed Deputy number 2 or 1. Jason was gone and told him about the lividity. Deputy pointed out that Jason had hung himself. I observed a blow dryer cord wrapped around Jason's neck with the other end being tied to the top of the shower door rail. Okay, so there you have it. And this is very sad. And I want to bring up lividity. If you guys don't know, lividity is when I believe it's black and blue. Okay, lividity, was it lividity and death? All right, here we go. So we're going to share this tab real quick. What is lividity? Lividity refers to a bluish and purple discoloration of skin after. It's a common sign associated with livor mortis, one of the 4 parts of mortem signs of death, along with parlor mortis, algor mortis, and rigor mortis, which is probably what everyone is familiar with. I can make it a little bigger for you guys so you can see. So that was lividity. Okay, so let's get back to the report. All right, so we're back here. Comes in, sees him expired. All right, let's get back to it. Appreciate you. Let's keep going. Okay, so from the door rail. He said, I returned to the vehicle to get my camera to begin taking photos of the scene. I took multiple photos of Jason and the lividity in his hands and thigh. I took photos of the pills and medication that were spread out in the room. I took photos of large amounts of cash. I took photos of the thermostat, which read 74 degrees. I don't know if I would have took pictures of the thermostat. I took a photo of an empty blow dryer bag and tissues in the bathroom. All right. Where are we at? Oh, man, this is what you guys wanted. This is kind of like his last. This is what the officer observed. Okay. Now I then spoke with Lola and asked her to tell me what happened. Okay. Lola stated she observed Tammy sitting and walking around the hotel. Lola stated Tammy to be appeared out of it or under some influence of something. Lola stated she asked Tammy multiple times if she had a room at the hotel. Lola stated Tammy told her she was meeting her husband here. Now, the crazy part is at this point, we already know she met her husband here. So there goes that memory loss. She's thinking coming in here fresh, like, oh, I'm meeting my husband here. And they like, lady, you already checked in here. You already met your husband here. This is impact of Ambien, some other stuff. We're about to go see it. Lola stated she observed Tammy walk outside and began climbing onto a motorcycle that was parked outside the door. Okay, so now she's like, hey, I'm here to meet my husband. And she goes from I'm here to meet my husband to I'm about to hop on my husband's bike. This is that Ambien stuff. I'm telling you, if you can't actually tell me this ain't like Ambien induced, alcohol induced, 2 o'clock in the morning when this happened. Okay. Lola stated she stopped Tammy to prevent her from driving. We right here. We right here if you're reading it. Lola stated she eventually called the police after she called her manager and informed her about the situation. So she like, look, I got this woman walking around. She said she here to meet her husband, then she's trying to get on the bike. What in the hell is going on? Paul say, call the police, because typically, like, this is what you do. You call the police. Okay. Lola stated police eventually arrived on the location and began helping Tammy find her room and her husband. Okay. So now that they like, hey, we like, I hate to do it, but they like,
What is going on?
where's your room? Okay. What is going in? All right. I got to make sure. I asked Lola, what time did Jason and Tammy check in? Lola stated Jason and Tammy checked in the day before in room 215 at 9:24 p.m. If you don't know military time, this is how I used to have to write my reports. That's how I'll know military time to the day I die. Hours in room 324 at 29:26 hours. Okay. Lola stated Jason and Tammy were supposed to check out at noon on that day. Okay. On the day he passed. Lola mentioned she also received a noise complaint from room 322 about the noise coming from 424. Okay. Lola stated she got the complaint about 2:47, 3 o'clock hours. Lola stated she made the phone call to room 424. I know this is so like Lola stated, and it is redundant. Okay, it's redundant, but this is how the reports are. They just want the facts. There's no feelings. Maybe if I was writing a report, I would say she explained that she got a noise complaint around this, but stated is stated. Okay. Okay. So let's keep going down. All right. Let me keep going where I'm at. Hold on. At 424. Lola stated a male answered the phone at 424 and informed him of the situation. Lola stated that the male stated she had the wrong room. He like, look, there's no noise up here. Lola stated she went to room 324 and heard noise coming from the inside, but did not knock on the door. I don't know what noise she heard, but we may find out a little bit later. Lola stated she went back to the lobby and called 324 a second time, but did not receive an answer. I asked Lola, this is from the deputy, if she had access to security footage. Lola stated no, but the general manager did. Okay. Lola gave me a general manager's card, which I gave to deputy number 1. Okay. Now here we go. This is where it kind of gets a little murky, but you'll see what happened. I logged some information, then spoke with guests at room 322. So this is the neighbor of 324. A black female answered the door at 322. She's going to be called Yolanda, and she's going to be referred to Yolanda. I informed Yolanda of the situation and asked her what she heard. Yolanda stated she heard a lot of shoving, things hitting the wall, and individuals arguing. Yolanda stated that they were away from the room about 2 hours to 4 hours, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock hours from the noise. I asked Yolanda if she heard anybody say, I'll kill you or kill myself. Okay, this is very important. Hey, did you hear someone say I'm going to kill you or I'm going to kill myself? Yolanda stated no, guys. That's very important. Okay. Yolanda stated no. I know people like, oh, but they were arguing before. I was like, okay, maybe were they arguing? Because this next statement is a little bit different. Yolanda stated that she heard a board kept hitting the wall. Board kept hitting the wall. Okay. Board kept hitting the wall. Now, I told you guys there was going to be some sex in this goddamn report. And I don't know about you, but if a board keep hitting the wall, we could probably guess what it was. Yolanda stated she could not provide me with more information. So Yolanda is likely where the whole arguing came up from TMZ. But at the same time, Tammy admitted that hey, they had an emotional conversation, which was probably him going through a manic mode argument, probably a miniature argument, which I know it is a miniature argument coming up. But at the end of it, we know it led to, someone said cheek clapping. Look, we've all been there before. You have the argument with the one you love about something frivolous and it ends up in some I hate you sex, I love you sex, it happens. Okay. And I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but hey, the fact of the matter remains, Yolanda stated that she heard a board kept hitting the wall. Take it for what you want. So did they argue? Sure, maybe, more than likely. But what happened after? Someone said it, angry sex. Sounds like angry sex. Well, Tammy said love making, guys. Let's be fair. She said love making. Maybe they love making. Everyone's definition of love making ain't the same, It could be angry love making. That's how people make love. That's how, Anyway, let's keep going. I'll make it bigger for you guys to see. I'll make it bigger. So he said, I provided security until 0700 hours and returned to service. He later uploaded his camera files and all that good stuff. This is page 2 of 2. It's nothing really there. So basically, I'll summarize the report before I go through it. Angry sex, the body cam paragraph, there's no body cam footage. Here we go. I'll show it to you. Like, hey, the body cam. Okay, evidence collected. They're like, I want to see the evidence collected. Okay. His evidence collected. He took photos. There was no audio. There was no video. Body camera, yes. So he does have body camera footage. Okay. There was arguing and pushing. Let's see. That's where he's talking about. I think that was Lola. The situation was act for Yolanda said she heard a lot of shoving, things hitting the wall, and individuals arguing. Yeah, that's what she said. Yolanda stated they were away from the room for about 2 to 4 hours, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning, from the noise. I asked Yolanda if she heard anyone say, I'll kill you or kill myself. Yolanda stated no. Yolanda stated she heard the board kept hitting the wall. And we know the toxicology report did reveal that he had Vicodin. Not Vicodin, but what's the god doggone thing? What's the sex drug for men? I don't even know it. You guys know. Yolanda is the neighbor of the room. Yolanda's 322, JDF's 324. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay. Viagra. There we go. Thank you, Viagra. He did have Viagra in his system. And Yolanda did say he was making love. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm like, I don't use it, so I'm like, I don't know what it is. The little blue pill, man. I could tell you a story about my grandma, like drugging my grandfather to get hurt for the holidays. Like, I'm like, Grandma, he has a heart condition. She's like, Grandma, you free? She's like, look, I gotta get mine. Like, it still work. I'm like, okay, anyway. Too much, Grandma. Maybe I'll bring my grandma. All right, so now that we had that, okay, let's get in further because look, we going through it. Now we have deputy number 2. We're about to get his story because we're going to get his account of the events. Yeah. So let's bring up this report. So we looked at the narrative. We looked at deputy number 3. Let's look at deputy number 2 and look, I don't know. How do we get on my grandfather? RIP to grandpa, man. He taught me so much about life and not being entitled. So don't be entitled, guys. Anyway, this is deputy number 2. It's the same thing. This is his recollection of the events. Okay. And deputy number 2, I believe, I brought him up. Okay, so back to JDF. Okay, this is his account, same kind of opening, 19th, 5:12 hours dispatched. The reportee called and said there was a female on location. Okay, under the influence. Can y'all see? Let me make it just a hair bigger for you guys. Dispatch advised the reportee called and there was a female on location who appeared to be under the influence, swam back and forth on her feet. Dispatch advised the reportee to stand. Reportee stated that the female subject was sitting on the floor in front of room 324. Dispatch advised the reportee described the female as white, appeared to be in her 40s, blonde hair, wearing a pink tracksuit inscribed with Skyline Diving. Okay. Dispatch advised that the reportee stated that the female subject told she had taken sleeping pills. However, the reportee believed that Tammy had taken something else. Dispatch advised that the reportee stated that the female subject stated her husband was in room 324. Okay, so Tammy like, hey, he's in room 324, but he was not answering the door. Dispatch advised the reportee stated that the female subject was laying on the floor in front of room 324. So like, hey, we found her. She was on the floor in front of room 324. Okay. I arrived on the scene at 5:15. God damn, their response time is fast as hell. Anyone see that? He got dispatched at 5:12. Took him 3 minutes to get there. That's phenomenal, man. That is phenomenal. Okay. And made contact with the reportee Lola. Lola's the report. Lola was employed at the hotel. Lola stated she called because the female subject appeared to be intoxicated and confused and believed there was a possible mental illness with the female subject. So she like, Tammy, what? Tammy may be messed up, up in the head. I asked her where the current location of the female subject was, and she stated the female subject was still on the floor in front of room 324. So you have a disoriented Tammy sitting on the floor in front of room 324. Okay. I made contact with the female subject identified as Tammy, said her middle name, hereby referred to as Tammy. Tammy appeared to be intoxicated. She exhibited slurred speech, glassy eyes, lethargic movements. This is that Ambien. This is that Ambien, guys. Tammy stated she and her husband identified as Jason David Frank, hereby as Jason. Okay. It's 3 pages. We're going to get to it. All right. Now, another drug comes into the mix. So, yeah, they having a good time. They drinking. And Ambien kicks in, and I asked Tammy if she had taken any medications, and she initially stated no, and then advised she took trazodone, 300 milligrams. Tammy stated she also consumed alcoholic beverage while taking trazodone. Okay, so I looked up trazodone, and Ambien, okay, together. Like, what happens when you take trazodone and Ambien? All right, I'm gonna share this tab right here. So what does this say? And we know she's taking alcohol too. So interactions between drugs using trazodone together with Pyden, which is Ambien, may increase side effects such as dizziness, drowsiness, confusion, and difficulty concentrated. Some people, especially the elder, may also experience impairment, thinking and judgment and motor coordination. So she has this cocktail in her system of drugs, the Ambien and the trazodone in her system and alcohol. And we're back right here with the report. Okay. I asked Tammy if she was diagnosed with a mental illness. She stated she was diagnosed with insomnia, which I don't think is a mental illness. Deputy number 3 arrived on the scene. Make sure it's 3. Oh, number 1. Deputy 1. Okay, yeah, Deputy 1 arrived on the scene. Okay, because that's the main report. As I was speaking with Tammy, Tammy stated she and Jason had separate rooms because Jason snored. So look, you've been dealing with this guy for 20 years. You know goddamn well y'all got separate rooms because he's snoring. Tammy stated the 2 rooms booked were 324 and 250. No contact was made at room 324, and I escorted Tammy down to through 215. So now we know Jason was in 324. They find her outside of 324, and they take her down to 215 in an attempt to make contact with Jason because that's Jason's room. Okay? There was no answer at 215. So while they're down there checking 215, you can say he already did it. He's in the process of doing it. We really don't know. Lola advised that we needed to conduct a welfare check for Jason. Jason's husband. Lola opened room 215 with the master key, and myself and deputy entered the room where we observed the room to be empty. So they go down to 215. They find her at 324. They go down to 315, and 215. They like, he's not there. Okay, messed up and didn't delete his name. Deputy Sanchez and Tammy returned back up to room 324 where Lola used the master key to gain entry into the room. Deputy Sanchez, since his name is out there, this is number 1, guys. This is number 1, okay? This is deputy number 1, okay? Upon entering to the room, just to the left of the bathroom, the door was closed and locked. Clothing, cash, and narcotics were observed to be scattered in the room, all right? Lola used the master key to unlock the bathroom door. Upon entering into the bathroom, Jason was observed to be unresponsive with a wire cord from the blow dryer around his neck. Jason was kneeling with the blow dryer cord hanging from the shower rail. Deputy number 1 immediately notified dispatch to send paramedics to the hotel room. So I think it's safe to say that she didn't call the police, right? We know she didn't because they say Lola was the notifier. Okay. All right, so Tammy appeared to be distraught at the time. I escorted her into the hallway of the hotel. Tammy was escorted to my marked patrol vehicle. Community and fire medic arrived on location and assessed Jason and Tammy, who was seated in the backseat of the patrol car. This is deputy number 2. Medics were provided information about Tammy consuming trazodone and mixing alcoholic beverages. So she told them, or they assessed that, hey, she took trazodone and alcohol, which is a horrible combination. Tammy refused transport to the hospital. She said, no, I am not going to the hospital, which is pretty kind of smart considering like the circumstances, the last thing you want to do is go to the hospital. They're gonna put you to sleep, pump your stomach, and then you're gonna wake up and then they're gonna tell you, hey, your husband's gone. And that's just what it is. So she stayed on site. I attempted to obtain information regarding the events leading up to the incident. Tammy stated she and Jason had checked into the hotel room on November 18th around 10 o'clock. Tammy stated that she and Jason went out to this place in Richmond, Texas, and I know they took an Uber. Tammy stated she and Jason returned back to the hotel around 2:45 and were involved in a verbal argument. So y'all like, what the hell were they arguing about? All right. Now, this is disoriented Tammy. Tammy stated the argument involved jealousy issue about Tammy dancing with other men at the bar. Tammy stated she did not even remember leaving the room 324, possibly due to being intoxicated. So they had the argument, and then they had, according to Lola, and then she left the room. And she said, hey, I didn't even remember leaving the room. I asked Tammy, how was Jason's mood the last few days? And she stated Jason was in a good mood and everything that seemed to be going fine, which I showed you guys the text messages. He seemed happy. He seemed like he was getting help, and just out of the blue, no warning, no nothing, just decided to take his life. Y'all go back to the text messages if you really want to see that. Tammy did state Jason brought up some traumatic experiences he had as a child, but she did not go into details about what the traumatic experiences were. So this is me speculating, and maybe Tammy will shed some light. They had the argument transitioned to probably a manic outbreak of some sort. That then transitioned into, trust me, it's the greatest healer of all time. But Tammy also stated Jason was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. Tammy stated Jason was prescribed medications, but unknown if he was taking medications as required. Tammy stated she did not know if Jason had been previously admitted to a mental health facility. Tammy stated Jason had previously seen a psychiatrist, which we did. I showed you the text messages, but was unaware of the date of his last visit to his psychiatrist. Tammy stated he had a history of self-deletion thoughts. Tammy stated she did not know if Jason previously attempted self-deletion, which we know he did 2 days prior or something to that effect. And she stated, I am sure he tried before. Now, I'll give her some grace because I know she like screwed up at this point on alcohol, trazodone, and Ambien. But she did provide the text messages where he did try to take his life. All right, Tammy was not able to provide any information as she fell asleep in the backseat of my patrol car. So imagine this, guys. Imagine this. Let me set the scene for you. You're talking to her, you asking her questions. She giving you answers. Her speech is slurred. Her eyes are glassy. And mid-question, she just falls asleep, kind of like in that simulation where the woman's like, yeah, after simulation, I just fell straight asleep. I didn't remember every time driving. That is the person he's quote unquote, he's asking questions and interrogating. Okay. They said, hey, I remained on the scene for security. I cleared the scene with a supplemental report. Body cam was worn, and the later was updated to axonsevidence.com. He has audio, nope. Photography, nope, because we know the other guy did. He has video, yes. BWC, I believe, is webcam, his camera or something, yes. And that is the end of his report, okay? So what do you guys think of that? All right, so this is the main deputy's report, guys. Main deputy report. Now, look, this could very much well be the rookie, because I'll tell you about this. When I became senior, when I became senior, I was like, look, my reporting days are over. I ain't writing nothing. That's for the rookies. Y'all need experience. You got to get some experience, young blood. You got to write this report, man. I ain't writing no reports. I'll review the report, let you know your mistakes, then correct it. Then you put me and your name at the top. That was me. All right. So anyway, let's get to this report. This is the report, guys. Final report. I'll do it on the side. Okay. So this is the lead, I guess you could say, or the rookie that was forced to write the report. Usually it's the rookie, like, I ain't writing this. You knew. So he names all the people involved. So you got Frank, Tammy, you have Yolanda, you have Yola, and you have Jason David Frank. He says victim was found to be deceased inside his hotel room, which is what it is. Hopefully someone posted Juanita's channel. Individual Tammy Frank. You know me, I'm not doxing anyone. We blocked out all personal information. All personal information got blocked out. So let's go to their report. All right, where are we at? Okay, so this is the lead person's report. On Saturday, November 19th, they arrived at the location. Prior to arrival, reportee, which is Lola, advised that there was a woman later identified as Tammy who was sitting in the hallway ground and appeared to be under the influence of some kind. Okay, so upon arrival, I observed deputy number 2, speaking with Tammy. During this time, Lola stated Tammy checked in the hotel with her husband, identified as JDF, but did not know where he was. So she like, I checked in, I don't know where he at. Lola stated Jason and Tammy Frank paid for 2 separate rooms. I asked Tammy why did they get 2 separate rooms. She stated she stated she did not like the way he snored. Goddamn. Okay. I asked Tammy Frank if she knew where her husband, Jason Frank, was, to which she stated she did not. I asked Tammy Frank if 324 was her room. All right. She just kept asking, is that the neighbor's room, pointing at the room next to her. So she's all disoriented, right? Deputy Blank informed me that Tammy Frank admitted to taking pills and drinking alcohol. I asked Tammy why would she take pills and drink alcohol, to which she could state is why not. So she like, look, she like, why not? Now I've been in them places where I'm getting questioned by people. I'm like, dude, I'm out of it. Why are you trying to have a serious conversation with me? I'm like, dude, anyway, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, whatever you said, man. You get out of my face. But anyway, at this point, she doesn't know that he's gone. She doesn't know that JDF is gone. Okay, due to the state of Tammy Frank was in, I informed Lola and Deputy Blank number 2 that I would attempt to conduct a welfare check in room 215. So this is more proof, guys, showing that hey, they got there, they went to room 215, and then they went to the room 324. After several attempts at room 215, I received no answer. I then returned to 324 and located and advised that he was not answering. So some time had to go past. I wish we had the time he arrived. We know they arrived at like 5:15. The death was at 5:45. I wish we had some timestamps, but this is the report. Lola stated she did not leave because his motorcycle was still parked in the parking lot. I informed Lola that I needed her assistance in opening room 215 so we can make sure Jason Frank was not injured or hurt. Upon entering the room, Jason Frank was not on location and the room looked to be undisturbed. So undisturbed means fresh bed, fresh linen, fresh everything. Okay. We all then made back to 324 to check for Jason due to Tammy Frank losing her key. There it goes, the lost key, guys. She said it, the lost key. Lola was unable to open the door for us. Upon entering the room, we did not locate Jason Frank until I checked the restroom and found it to be blocked. So you go to check the door, it's blocked or locked. Locked. I informed deputies on scene that I believe Jason Frank was in there. Lola went downstairs. So now this is more time lapse downstairs to get the key. During this time, we all walked in the room and observed a large amount of cash sitting on the desk, jewelry and pills scattered throughout. Upon Lola returning and opening the door, I saw Jason Frank's reflection through the mirror. As it appeared he was sitting slouched over in the shower, I immediately called EMS to make location. But upon entering the restroom, I observed lividity again in his hands and legs of Jason Frank. I disregarded EMS, okay, and what does he say? And called an obvious DOA at 5:43. So they get into the room at 5:43, okay? Dang, I didn't block out this guy's name. That was deputy number 2. Immediately start taking digital photos of the scene. This is deputy number 3. Remember, he said, hey, I took the photos. I contacted Sergeant Blank and informed him of what we had. Deputy Frank was sitting at the door of the doorway, attempting to come to the room to see what was going on. But deputy prevented her from entering. So, hey, they like, hey, what's going on? She's like, what's going on? They say, hey, do not let her come back here. Do not let her come back here. I informed deputy at this time that Tammy Frank will be detained and take her downstairs per sergeant's orders. Due to Tammy Frank's emotional state and asking if Jason Frank was dead, I had EMS dispatched again for her. While on location, EMS medic 93 made location of room 324 and confirmed him being DOA. All right, so I'm just gonna like break this up. So basically, she's trying to get into the room. They say, hell no. Take your ass downstairs. They take her downstairs. That's where the other deputy was asking her questions, and then she fell asleep. Okay. Deputy, I believe this is 3. I was able to retrieve information from Lola about the possible disturbance. Lola stated at 247, the room next door at 324, which currently housed the female identified as Yolanda, complained about the noise in 324. Lola stated she called up the room and informed Jason about the noise, which he stated it was not them and hung up the phone. Lola stated maybe because they were, by then, they could have been doing that, okay? And she said it was Jason, all right? He answered the phone and stated that it was not them and hung up the phone. Lola stated she received more calls and decided to walk up to check it out. Lola stated she did not hear any physical attack occurring, but heard y'all yelling and screaming going on. Now look, Could be yelling, could be screaming, could be this. It could be a lot of things. Maybe Tammy could clear that up. Lola stated Jason Frank and Tammy Frank checked into the room and we're supposed to check out that day. They unblocked this stuff. This is wild because I'm pretty sure I blocked everything. But anyway, deputy number 3 was able to make contact with Yola and stated she heard a loud banging against the wall along with yelling. See deputy 3 supplemental report, which we already saw. I was able to locate several medications inside the room prescribed to Jason. So, which is great that they were prescribed. Okay. Prescribes indicate they wasn't like illegal. So that's good. The following medications were identified as trazodone, which looks like they both were taken, clonazepam and hydrocodone, which was all found in his system. There were several loose pills scattered around, which were unidentified. Shortly after, detective mentioned from the first report and CSU investigator made the location. Okay. Now here we go. Here we go. Investigator and detectives are on scene. While on location, investigator was able to locate more pills inside the bag of Jason Frank. So in his bag, these pills were identified as clobenzaprine. Steroids and more hydrocodone were located inside the bag as well. Investigator was able to locate some nose candy, which was wrapped up in the tissue. And they say which Tammy later admitted to both of them taking. And when I saw this, later admitted to taking, I'm like, well, who did she admit it to? Because when I was writing reports, I can only put in stuff I observed, not like, well, she told Nathan she did it. And I'm like, well, Nathan will have to put that in his report, but he put it in hers. So take that as you will and take in Tammy's state of mind. The main thing was, hey, did she say anything to him?
Nope.
Doesn't look like it. The cash on location was counted by the investigator and documented. Inside Jason's wallet, there was a bunch of money. Like I can keep going through this, wrapped in 20s. The amount of cash was $6,700. Okay. I remained on location until the medical examiner arrived. Investigator, blah, 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 took several cell phones, locations, evidence, along with the cocaine and alcohol. You know why they take the cocaine and alcohol? They test it. They want to make sure it's not fentanyl in there. That's exactly why they test it. They take it, and then you have your forensic drug tester. I used to have a friend who did this stuff. He was like, I hated it. All I did was test for cocaine all day. The medical examiner took the study of prescriptions, took custody of Jason's driver's license, which will return to the state. All right. This is a lot to read, but we almost through it, guys. It was decided that the cash should be given to Tammy Frank prior to leaving the location, and they had a responsible friend identified to pick her up so she does not drive alone, guys. There we go. Deputy 1, this is 4 of 5. Let's see what 5 of 5. Attachments, none. This is, I just want to go through the whole report to make up. I know people are like, hey, what evidence did he collect? I'll give it to you real quick. Audio recording and video recording was captured via the body camera. Audio, yes. Video, yes. BWC, yes. Okay. And this is the end of all the police reports. You saw all of them, guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?